Divorce happens. In fact, it happens to almost 50% of first marriages. So let's talk about it. Welcome to Divorce Happens, a podcast to educate, inspire, support, and yes, make you laugh through divorce and beyond so that you can start fresh on the next phase of your journey. Remember, divorce happens, and then we start fresh.
You get divorced. You get divorced.
Getting divorced?
I'm getting a divorce.
You're getting a divorce.
Because she's getting a divorce.
So what if I get divorced?
Hello. Welcome back to Divorce Happens, the podcast where we support you before, during, and after divorce with education, inspiration, and a little bit of laughter. Because as we know, divorce happens and then you start fresh. And we're here with one of our Fresh Starts experts, Rose, about a topic that I think that we overlook so much when it comes to divorce, but it is so entrenched in every corner, I'm going to say, of our divorce process. So, Rose, who are you? What do you do?
Hi. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and chat with you guys today. My name's Rose Pulver. I am the owner of the Thoughtful Home, Maryland. We are a professional organizing company, and we specialize in helping busy families, busy professionals, people going through life transitions, elevate their lives and streamline their lives through premium organizing services. So we come in and we just help them with the stuff that they need help organizing. And sometimes that starts here and sometimes it's, out there. But either way, we really just try to help people elevate their lives through those services and get to a place where they're really happy and at peace with their home.
Yeah, because we tend to not remember sometimes that our home is our safe space, right? So we want it to feel good, and organized for one person may not be the same for somebody else.
Right.
The other thing, before we jump into it, I would love for you to talk for a moment. I've used an organizer in the past. I love using organizers because I have ADHD. I don't ever know, and they've taught me so many things. And it's a very intimate process when you use an organizer. But I think there's still a stigma that organizers are very expensive or they're for only very, wealthy people. But it sounds like most organizers work with everybody. Is that true?
Yes, there is an organizer for every problem, every price point, and most organizers will work with you if you let them know your budget and your constraints. They will find a way to make it work for your situation. So I think be open-minded and definitely be open to having someone come and help. I liken it to having a personal trainer.
Yeah.
You tend to get better results when you have that accountability, that person there with you. And I think that it's an investment in yourself and something worth looking into.
Absolutely. Which brings me to our main topic today, which is that when you go through a divorce, it's a lot of stuff, which is why we literally founded Fresh Starts, is because there's so much stuff. And we get so emotionally attached to some of these things, especially I think, things that maybe were part of our wedding registry or part of the history we had with that person. And it can be easy, right? Throw that shit in a box and go, man, we're just going to put that in the garage or the next house, my parents' basement. But then you're literally taking that junk with you, right? For the next chapter. So what can we do here, Rose? How can we emotionally separate ourselves from this stuff?
Yeah, great question. I think it depends. It depends on the person. It depends on where you're at in the stage of grieving. I mean, it's a grieving process. It's a transition process. Do you have kids? Are you alone? Are you willing to? There's so many questions, right? That I would ask someone. And I have lots of clients who are going through this kind of transition. And I usually try to find out what their goals are because everybody's going to be different. And some people are really attached to those items, and that's okay. By the way, there's nothing wrong with being attached to an item. Keep your keepsakes. Put them in a box and put a label on it and put it somewhere that you don't have to look at it every day.
Right.
And revisit it in a year or two. There's nothing wrong with that. And that is the biggest thing that I tell people going through divorce or any sort of life transition. It's number one, just give yourself some grace. Don't put so much pressure. You have all this pressure coming from other areas. This is okay. It's okay to be where you're at. And when you're ready, you can start the process. And you just have to be ready. If you do want to get rid of things, there are lots of ways to do it. You can there are ways to transition and make it so it's not a clean break. It's
Mm-hmm.
hey, right, I'm going to put this in a box and I'm going to put it in my storage closet for like 90 days. And then I'm going to look at it and I'm going to see how I feel. And if it's triggering and I'm not ready, I'm going to put it back and I'm going to try revisit that in 90
Yeah.
days. Like, you can be kind to yourself. You don't have to be too hard on yourself, especially during a divorce.
Yeah.
So
I love
I
that.
think that's the big thing. But I'm big on purging, obviously. I'm an
Mhm.
organizer. I'm also like, get that shit out of here. If you're not attached to it and somebody gave it to you, your husband gave it, and you're like, I don't want that.
Yep.
Get rid of it. There is no obligation to keep things either. And even if you have kids, like, it's okay.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, what you're saying is like it's all whatever you need at that moment, right? Which is really important. So how does an organizer help? Like if somebody's listening to this and they're like, okay, like I have so much stuff, where do I even get started? How does an organizer help you? Let's say maybe you're moving to an apartment or you're like in my case, my ex was just moving out. We were splitting everything. How can an organizer help in that situation?
Yeah. So I think the important thing is to identify what items are staying and what items are going. There's always sort of a mishmash of stuff when you come into these. It's never clean. It's very rarely clean. So that's okay, right? And
Yep.
so someone like myself would come into that household and say, okay, let me know what's staying if we're organizing this space. And so we look at those items and then we go, what is your goal? What is your main goal? Do you want to just get everything in order? Do you want to put new systems into place and have a fresh start?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we know how important that is.
Yeah.
So then we would go in and we would pull everything out and categorize those items. It's the same thing that we do for every client, right? We pull out
Yep.
all the items, we categorize them, we look and we say, okay, you've got like 20 of the same item. Like you've got 20 spatulas.
Right.
Like you need like 2.
I do love spatulas, but yeah, I
Some people
understand.
everybody's got that category
Tongs.
of
I
items.
love tongs.
My son was running around the kitchen this morning with tongs in his hand saying that he was a crep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we go ahead and we purge the rest. We find a way to get rid of the rest.
Yep.
We discard things that are broken. We donate things that
Yep.
are not. And then we just do that systematically through the household and find all the things. And then we go, okay, these are all the things you're keeping. Now that we know what you're keeping, let's figure out where they make sense. Where are we going to put them?
Right.
There's their home. And we try to have just maybe 1, maybe 2 homes for each item, depending on how big the space is. If you got cleaning products, maybe a couple homes, different bathrooms and stuff. But for the most part, things should really have like 1 home. And then you know where to find it. It's always there and it always goes back to the same place.
Right.
And so we would go in and we sort of do that. We'd put things in their new homes. We'd zone it out really well so it's functional. It makes sense for that person and their lifestyle. And then we would come in and bring in the products that will really finish it off, make the system work perfectly, put a label on it, and it's like good to go. Fresh start. Right?
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. There are so many things I have to say to that. Number one is I love that you said it's rarely clean in a house that's going through a divorce. And that is so true. I was going to curse because that's how true it is. It is so effing true because I remember going through my ex and I lived in the same house. We stayed in the same house for 3 months, 4 months while he was trying to find a new place. And the only person I would let into the house, it was so messy, was the babysitter. I was like, if my mom sees this, she's going to, like, it was so messy. I didn't have the emotional capacity, and he sure shit wasn't doing anything. So it was like the house. So I love that you said that because it's giving people grace to be like, the house is not always going to be this messy, but right now you're going through this big transition. And the other thing, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, is I'm 5 years out from my divorce and just trying to set up systems now that make my life easier and like putting everything back together. And I'm like, wow, when the kids put their clothes out in the mornings are so much easier, right? Like, or whatever, the night before, right? So when you go through a divorce, there's so much emotional baggage that you're already carrying. How can having an organized system in the home actually like bring peace to the home?
Oh, yeah. That's a big one. It just takes it out of your head.
Yeah.
Like we all have this stuff floating around in our head. And when you're going through a divorce, there's so many things to remember and think about and keep track of. And, oh, I need to call that person back. And the lawyer called. And this is happening.
Yeah.
You don't need that extra thing that is in your head floating around. Like, I got to get the kids. That you need a system. You need, whether you have kids or whatever the thing is that's weighing on your mind, you need a system around that. So yes, putting the kids' clothes, like the little things make such a big difference.
They really do.
Waking up earlier, which I know is hard, especially when you're, emotionally charged, but just setting yourself up for the day
Yeah.
so that you at least get like 15 minutes in the morning to look at your schedule, think clearly for a minute, and like go, okay, what is the most important thing I need to do today? It's just little things like that.
Yeah, and it's those little things that cause friction, right? My big thing is like, what can we take away that's going to be friction, right? So like even something as silly as like, let's say you want to go wake up in the morning and work out, put your workout clothes out the night before, right? Because then you're not like rummaging through the laundry, waking up the cat. Like it's like a whole thing, right? So it's like it all snowballs.
You got to get rid of the obstacles, like in every area of your life. That's my biggest thing. And I'm still learning that. We're all still learning that. But it's like, I started working out in my pajamas.
Me too. I do the same thing, Rose. I do the same thing.
It was like sometimes some mornings I was like, I don't feel like putting those clothes on.
No,
and then I'm like, then they're dirty. Then I got to put them back on. I'm just going to take that out of the equation.
Yep.
Nobody sees me. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It's the little things, right?
Yeah. Preparing the kids' lunch the night before, like little things like that. Yes.
Yeah.
I love all of that. So tell us a little bit about where you work, what you do, how you work with clients.
Yeah. So I am in Howard County, Maryland. So I'm kind of right between Baltimore and DC. So I service both of those areas and surrounding counties. We do lots of different services, but all organizing focused. That could be move management. So we call it like concierge moving. It could be white glove, like we handle every touch point.
Amazing.
We are the main point of contact. That I'm actually talking to someone who's going through a divorce right now and trying to manage the move process with 2 children. And she's like, please just do it all for me. Like I need the help. I don't have the bandwidth.
Yep.
So things like that, just regular decluttering and organizing of smaller spaces, whole homes, what else? Digital organizing, paperwork. Paperwork's a big one.
Yep.
Which I weirdly like a lot.
That's why you're an organizer.
It's weird. It's why I guess it is. Yeah. So we kind of run the gamut of all the organizing services, and it's so much fun. We love what we do.
Well, that is we love working with you guys. And that's a great area. So if anybody's listening to this and in that area, and give the gift of organizing to somebody who's going through a divorce, because oh my gosh, they need it. And I think that the part that we don't talk about is that organizers come in shame-free, judgment-free, and they're just there to like be by your side and work through this with you. And I just, it really is. I know we have amazing organizers here at Fresh Starts all over the country. And every time I talk to an organizer, they're like, oh, we become like a therapist for somebody. Right? Like, and I love that. And I know I've been there. So I just love that. Well, we appreciate you being here, Rose. Before we let you go, we have a question. So if somebody's listening to this and going through a divorce, as somebody that helps people through divorce a lot, what would be some words of encouragement that you could leave them with?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just give yourself grace. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. Your feelings are always valid, and you will get to the other stuff when it's time. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just take it day by day.
So important. So important. Well, you can find Rose and the Thoughtful Home over at Fresh Starts, and lots of info and press and all the great stuff that they do, and get in touch with them. Thank you so much, Rose. This was super helpful. And I know that a lot of people are going to listen to this and be like, that is exactly what I need right now. So we appreciate you so much.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Divorce Happens is produced by Fresh Starts Registry, the only divorce registry platform for everything you need to begin again, including home items, hype team, and everything in between. Remember, divorce happens, and then we start fresh. We're here to support you before, during, and after divorce. Head to freshstartsregistry.com for more info.